Character sketches. Is it not my duty in my sentences, since you have already taken back my word, to present you sketches, not eulogies with dead ideas in painted fonts? Do not pick the fruit that rots within, but instead the bud promising anything. The conductor. His baton hesitates, a gracious club. He wears a lion's toupee, sweats tiptoes on his brave forehead. The statue stands twitching, a stiff utile threshing in destiny. Trembling shouts of restraint within the paused air. His blood tapped politely at the skin, that it might lash forth a tranquil arc. He dances by the piano, he who knows that we loved each other at the time of song. The students. His pen cracks amid the room, a whip upon his back. His elbows hover, like gaming youths, afraid of a passing aircraft. He retracts his hands, only to replace them on the table. His honesty, like a marching crowd, is swept along by example. He answers, I was reading this passage, then I fell asleep. This he cannot retract. The bookseller. The cloistered corridor is furnished with beams of smoke. The intellect stepped monastically along the clouded firmament, hypnotizing analogies. Cold coins in hand. A man wishes the gatekeeper's tears for the escorting of his subject to that invisible hall. Entrepot Dock 3C can't explain. To the bookseller, smoking uninterruptedly his time, the time yet reclining with him. The exchanges of belch behind clean teeth. The ugly man. Every British child should have him lean over their cot with his jutting trophy ears. The young are unable to attain year's mechanisms in the handsome adult's face, black magic. The ugly man, who can wrench from laughter or tears, will help them understand. The beggar. This title, which like a rusted key jars with disuse, befits the man whose words slam open his mouth. Could I have €1 or more? Fear ignites in his eyes, apologizing for the presumption that his hungry body commits, and through preparedness of instinct. As though crushed by a behemoth book, he can blame his human frailty and their human conception. He who says he is alone. Natasha Rostock enters into her first ball, unaware that all eyes train upon her, not most. So does he array his loneliness in fine beads, dresses, and witticisms to be admired and patronized. And loneliness looks up dumbly, as if she should not be seen, a child not of flesh. All the studious mothers want, but cannot take her. It is then he discovers, for the first or thousandth time, the loneliness pines when one is not alone. The blackbird. The night clouds drift on, indifferent as continents. Neopolis and Stefan talk of stars. They talk with flushed ideas, which excitedly stand from their chairs in the coffee houses. They ask one another, what does the brain humour in being self-aware? Surely it's familiar with his body. They talk long before looking to the stars. Stefan is content for words to run and soak on a golden cypress day. Neopolis wishes to be a philosopher, to stride from the coffee houses out to the square. The other has no plans, but as an ox is fed by the man on his cart, expects no more recompense than a residual enlightenment. When each day begins, glaring and deflecting, young men slowly lower their battlements. Speeches crowd at the gates. The sun too eats its watch, looking upon them more kindly until night is imparted, a secret. It is then that Neopolis and Stefan talk of stars. All the words which run, disperse, and fly to the sky from the hard and pierced ground, an ambitious crew. The young men also grow in courage. They talk of love. Neopolis says that he sees her pale nostrils shiver with the wind, and pictures them also when she sleeps. Stefan reveres another girl, for she is proud and intelligent. They walk over the hills to see Aphrodite and Paphos, and do not forsake on the way the freckle of a butterfly, the elegant fingernails of cypresses, the downy grass on the earth's lip. Stefan is needed at home. He and his father linger until the star's birth. Each night is infancy, each morning adolescents teach something at the deathbed. Neopolis once explained, this world is sweet, and we animals are anchored just as much to it. The young men are anchored to the very days, as pure-eyed and inarticulate as their stars. All the while the blackbird sits in the square. She owns a title, regalia, but the young men are formless and free like a loping roaring wind. She has felt hers and has no desire to marry again. Her mouth now mimics only the priest's. The blackbird sits in the square on a knot of Gordius. As close as she dwells to nobleness and steadfast, she cannot say that she governs them any wiser. All things to her pass without explanation. Things closer to her than the stars, like the night clouds, drift on, indifferent as continents. Sensual peace. Below your dome, your mouth of the absolute, and its islands of white torsos in the smoky sea, must men feel their bones scrape through skin on wooden chairs. They meet as if destined, two varnished pretensions with rotting core. The walls of your inverted globe, placing at the womb of all things, a small stranger coming right into a door ajar. The cracks are laced with arterial lines of gold, and the stone shaded manifold by generations of hands. The Sisyphus arrondissement becomes as real as leaves of crumpled black tissue, fluttering before a dirty cotton sky. I am that small stranger, O Lord, nigh on the bashful ecstasy of the debutant traveller. I can't brave life's abbreviation used to burnicles of the flesh. The opera Mundi fumbles a page. Age's instant caricature perches and smirks, gargoyle. He that searches for beauty unbartered is stranded. Delacroix knew that Christ, painted far from death while yet pierced by the holy light, had no corporeal equal. So he revered the body's preciousness in parables of its destruction. The air is sharp and hot outside, clogged with winking relics and stools to fill and fool the hand with crude emotion. Man's sanctuary from Libre and Bastiles, the delicate breath of Mary Magdalene, in whose jasmine arms he's cradled more lovingly in his beast's burden. But can she preserve each man, as a mother bereaved exhaustion would, as he shambles from chapel to chapel to learn the bitter lessons from errant words? Beyond the heavy doors, the disciples and heirs of Ulm, of joy and pain, prepare their tales of surrender and sufferance in the scouring light of day. O Lord, I am a poet, I bear a stigmata, applaud. My agony resounds deep in my ego. I agonize for mankind, yes, but I scatter my rhymes as coins in the crowd, not bread. Adoration, hatred, and the caravan of time between are labelled to me, but death hides on my path as the sun behind silhouetted hillocks. One can only surrender or suffer for one's gain. Death will one day rise as that same sun, an epiphany, its shrill will ricochet in my heart, admitting I cannot until my time. For Tanit Zayn, others social will pass around, but the poet relents from wearing this bridal veil. To starve torments would make obsolete his commerce. This admission, Lord, bids me wander some more. A pew concealed in the room in Notre Dame, a small sculpture, a boar straddling an organ. This is the image of my confession. Sonnet of the reticent protester. You might see me with a careless hand, spend ouzo on the pale and guzzling sand, but Dionysus is not my god. When the barbed hornet mumbles to me, my society buzzes conspiratorially. I do not believe him, but warmly nod. For I see him at partake of the water's edge, riverside as a forum, refreshed daily by the hum of creatures' complaints. The drink is given a sweeter flavour by gossip's tears and the sweat of labour. Hurried sighs propel the heart's pounding freight. And though my heart belongs to many, darker impulse will prove it beats in me. The hand of my is asks of his other what his absence does to her. Whispered timidly, the deferent reply makes no doubt of her tears. My love, when your feet brush the threshold of my home and my heart, the heart extinguishes. No more to ignite, my once glow waits for dawn, taunted by charcoal tumours. My weeping will not banish the cruel drought, though it rivals the torrent of spring. Water drips from my gay-wood bones, and food clangs in the pit of my body's cavern. Your mistress is a dumb infant to your absence. She assumes everlasting your beautiful trickery. With trumpets and plaudits breathed in your ear, as you leave once more, struck unsullied with cockerel. Young lover, you trip with beauty, sure, glazed plumage to match the intellect. The first visitor heats your woman up. Her limbs flurry from blizzard to inferno as pools of sweat, beggar orphans fed. House and street are a lonely maid to employ. The next impales her, rigid with bamboo. She clenches fist on bedsheets and closes mind against the pain of longing. But don't you wish to be present to discipline her? Further gangling guests hang from her neck and wrists. Your cold, jewel-flecked friends betray you. Though you bought them off for her sake, those friends can never have enough. The world makes pilgrimage to her by her invitation. An inverted god, she prays to those who travel alone, that they might feast at her dish of solitude. Another visitor she believes she sees in that dark cabin where the girl sits dejected. She wills you that only handsome she-will can fulfill her romantic Cairo sleepwalk. The final pierces your dulled eyes with needle gaze, which you have only found it for. This suitor soothes her trembling spirit. She accepts your vacancy, you become vacant. Young cockerel, as you admire yourself in self-idolatry, you feel blasphemed by your mirrored self-indulgence. Is love its tense pursuit without the meeting of each eye? Feign the omnipresence of the womb, and craft your lover's form like the child, yet until the fruit is ripe inside, the skin will not fall off.